World War II.
Now, I understand you were not in the American Army. Can you tell me what?
When we arrested POW camp by Russia, because from West German, Hitler start war, and from the East, Stalin, communist Russia start war with Poland.
So you were living in Poland when the war broke out?
Yes.
Where were you living in Poland?
I was in home, and after that I went to the army, and I was DBW camp, VFW camp in Russia. Because
okay, before you got to Russia though, did you join the army in Poland?
No, I was civilian.
You were a civilian?
Yeah. And they sent us to the defend row around the Moscow.
They put them in a labor
around the Moscow
trenches for tanks so they would fall in around Moscow.
In Moscow?
He was born in Tuligova.
How old were you when the Russians took you prisoner?
About 21, 22 years.
And they took you prisoner from your home?
What?
They took you as a prisoner from your home in
From
Poland?
my home.
And they took you to Moscow?
Yes.
And put you in a labor camp?
The labor camp, and after that they sent me to the defend Moscow.
What?
Digging the canal, the road to defend the Moscow.
Digging canals for the
So you were digging canals to defend Moscow. What was life like in the Russian POW camp? What was the food like, and how did they treat you?
Food very, very terrible for one a day.
So they gave you one meal a day?
One meal a day. And when we came from work, we got two, dinner and supper, but was only just like one.
And where did you live?
In the ground, they digging in the ground hole and put the roof, you see, in the wood, and living in the ground.
And how many of you would they fit in one
Oh,
of those?
it was about 200. That's 200, maybe more, because there's a couple of thousand people they working. You see, around the Moscow, couple of thousand people, maybe million. Nobody knows.
Wow. What was the
And they be working 12 hours a day. Day change it and night change it 12 hours.
And what was the treatment like? How did they treat you?
Oh, that is very bad, very bad. If something no doing the normal, they beat you. You see? Or they don't give it to eat.
How long did you stay in Moscow in the POW camp?
About 3 months.
What year was that?
I was just digging the
trenches. Nie pokazuj, tatu, tylko gadaj. Trenches.
digging the canal. That was around the Moscow.
What year?
That was 1941.
How long did you stay in Moscow?
About 3 months.
And then where did you go?
And after that, they sent us to Stalin needs some help from United States, because Hitler jumped 1941 in June or July, I don't remember, on Stalin. And Stalin wants some help from United States and from England and from France. In England, our Polish government escaped from Poland to England, you see?
Okay.
And Polish man, which was Woodrow Wilson's friend, when he was the president, he was in United States. what's his name? I forgot his name. He was friend Woodrow Wilson. And Woodrow Wilson that time was president. And he said, when the Russia release couple million people, you can give it the help for Russia. But first time he must release the prisoner of war. And he released.
Okay, so, go ahead, you can go right in front of the camera.
With me.
All right. All right, so Stalin, Julie, maybe you
Yes.
can, what happened after, all right, so Russia said they
What?
wanted help from the United States.
What do you want to know?
Yes, they wanted help, so they were gonna help Stalin defeat the Germans because they were attacking
What do you want to
them.
know?
When America said that they would help Stalin,
Yeah.
did Stalin then say that he would
Release,
release you?
Woodrow Wilson told for Stalin, if you release about 200,000 people from the war, what you take in soldier and civilian people, you can give it the help.
So, okay, so then did Stalin release you from prison?
That's right.
With a whole bunch of other people?
That's right.
Okay, so then you ended up with the British government fighting and not the Americans. So how did you get from Russia to be working with the British?
I don't understand what you're talking. Chico. Yeah, I don't understand what you're talking.
When you were released,
Yeah.
where did you go?
I go to the Polish army
In what country?
in Russia because they organize Polish release amnesty, release the people, and organize Polish army under the command General Anders.
Anders, can you spell that? A-N-D-E-R-S?
Anders, A-N-D-E-R-S, Anders.
He was the British commander.
Yes.
Do you remember when you heard you were going to be released, where you were? Do you remember hearing that you were going to be released from prison?
From the prison
Yeah.
in 1942.
Well, how do you remember the day? What it felt like when
Well,
they
I
told
don't
you?
remember the day because I remember that was summer. I don't. In July, about half of July, first time we go to the Guzar, digging the grave for people who, for Polish people who die in the prison camp. You see?
Yeah.
And it every day we digging the grave about 2 months. Two men to digging the one grave. Sometimes, someday we digging 15, sometimes we digging 20, and next day we come in full the people digging and 10 people stay again, new people. That people die from sickness in Siberia.
Did you get sick at all while you were a prisoner?
Yes, I was sickness, but I was sick because everybody was sick, without hungry. And they eat everything what they got. They don't worry. Frozen potato, I go to the digging frozen potato under the ground and cooking and eat because one a day meat I got. That was what happened.
When they formed the Polish army in Russia,
in
what
Russia,
did you do?
they forming in there about 5 places. It was Krasnovodsk, Guzar, some place else, so I forgot the name of that places.
Which place were you in?
What?
What place in Russia were you?
I was in Guzar.
When you joined the Polish army now, did you
And
become
after that, when they give it for Russia help, Russia released us and sent us to Caspian Sea.
What did you do there?
They transfer us to the Iran because our general want to stay in Russia. They want that we stay in Russia and we fight with Russian army. And our general refused. He said, we don't fight with Russian soldiers. We want to go to the west, to the Iran, Iraq, because that time Iran, Iraq belongs to the English colony, you see. And English government, Polish government was in English, in England, and they sent us to their colony.
So, was it entirely Polish men in your unit?
Yeah.
Was it with a British officer?
He was Polish officer.
Oh, so was it
Yes.
entirely Polish unit?
Yeah, a Polish officer. Somebody was English because nobody understand some English, but a lot of people, they was English.
Where did you go in Iran? What part of Iran did you go to?
What?
Where in Iran did you go?
Iran?
Yeah.
Oh, we go to Iraq.
Oh, you went to Iraq?
Iraq. Defend. That was in Iraq was a refinery. Defend the refinery because that refinery was American and English, and they taken the gas, you see, down there. And after that, we watching all the time. They watching the refinery, about half year, you see. And after that, we going to Palestine.
What did you do in Palestine?
We teach how just the army, how offensive, how defense, something around like that.
So were you being trained?
Yes.
Did you have weapons?
Driver, they teach the driver. I was the tank driver.
So they taught you how to drive a tank?
Yeah.
What kind of a tank was it?
Sherman.
Sherman tank? What's that like? What's it like to drive a Sherman tank?
That was American tank. SHERMAN.
Yeah. What was that like for you? What did you have to do in order to drive a tank?
They drive the tank.
To był tak jak samochód?
What?
Czy to był tak jak samochód? Ten tank, driveować tak jak samochód? Czy trochę inny?
No, we got some. We got no steering wheel. We got some.
What was it like? Did you have to use?
That's right.
And how many men would it take?
It was 5 men. Commander of the tank. Men which have the artillery in the tank, artillery gun, and 2 machine gun, and the driver, 5 people.
That must have been pretty scary.
What?
Is that pretty scary?
Oh, war.
How long did you stay in Palestine getting
In
trained?
Palestine, we said, just a moment, we stayed about 8 months. We got what they call teaching how to defend, how to go to the offensive, everything with with another nation. You see? And after that, from Palestine, we go to Egypt. In Egypt, we stay down there. We take the new tank, because that was what we teaching. It was just for teaching the tank, old one. But we give it us for new tank and sent us to Italy.
So they gave you a new Sherman tank and sent you to Italy?
Yeah, yeah.
When you moved from Russia to Iraq to Palestine, was it your same group of men? Did you all stay together with the same group?
I don't understand.
The same men that you...
Yes, the same man.
So they're all in the
The
same
same
group
man,
together.
only the new tank.
Okay.
But because the old one was used, and they scared because somebody broken on the front. So they give it us new, brand new tank.
And then they sent you to Italy. Where in Italy?
To Italy, we start Sicily.
Okay, what happened there?
Down there we waiting about 1 week, and after that we go to the Toronto, port of Toronto, and go to the Santa Sofia for some place to live about 2 weeks, you see. And after that, from that, we go, I don't, Santa Sofia. I forgot how the town was before we going to the Monte Cassino.
So you went through several towns and then,
Seven town, yeah.
and then you went to
Yeah.
Monte Cassino?
Just moment.
Ти не можеш спомнятать, что говорит.
I forgot the town because the name was
That's all right.
Italian,
Yeah.
you see.
Was,
And we waiting down there about 1 month, and they take us to the front. It was in the April, about half of April, you see. And we marching because that was the mountain, no was the road, because the road was only one between mountain and Germany, watching from the hill to the road and kill us. So we walking to between mountain.
you walked the...
Walk?
So you didn't get to take your tank?
No, because how? No road.
Wow.
No road.
So you, were you still just...
We left the tank in about 5, I don't know, 5 miles behind front, and walk to the front by walk.
Okay, so then you got to the front, what happened?
That we get the front May 3, I remember. May 3 we get the front, and our commander divide us some place to digging the underground the hole, you see. And after that we waiting for offensive. Offensive start May 11 to May 18.
Wow.
It was
How many units were up at the front?
It was 3 divisions.
3 divisions?
3 divisions, yeah. And it was a lot of American artillery, because about 3,000 artillery gun they they shot the Monte Cassino.
Wow. So there were 3,000 artillery guns that were American. Were you fighting side by side with
Yeah.
Americans?
Yeah.
Was there a problem with understanding the language?
We got some Polish officer we speaking English and English speaking Polish too. We explain, with that we have no problem.
And what was
And-
your job during the assault on Monte Cassino?
I was in the anti-tank artillery.
So you were the anti-tank artillery.
Yeah,
Does that,
gun in the tank.
And does that gun take one person to man it or more than one?
One person.
So that was your job the entire battle?
Yes.
Did you know what you were shooting
Yes,
at?
we got the under the hand what they got the we put that to the gun, and after that we shot.
And for how many days did you get to sleep in between?
From March 3, just a minute,
May
to
3.
March 3 and March 18, we catch the Monte Cassino.
That's a long time.
Long time.
What did you...
Because too many people die, and our general say, doesn't matter what, we must catch Monte Cassino. Doesn't matter what happened.
When you fight for
And-
many days like that, do you
Yes.
get to sleep?
No sleep. No sleep. Somebody sleeping там when we fight, but it was no sleep. And who was killed, they give it some support from the back. You see, because they got some person which stay back. That's what it is. There was too many person killed.
Wow. Now you told me earlier that your friend was killed in Italy. Was it at the Battle of Monte
He was
Cassino?
in Italy, shot in Monte Cassino. He was shot close to the Bologna.
Oh. Now, you also told me earlier that there were women in the Polish army that were fighting and that they had a special role. Can you tell me about that?
What?
The women.
The women taking the ammunition from the back to our position, food, everything. Even the injured people who was, they transferred to the back to the hospital.
So you actually had Polish women in combat going to the front?
Yes, Polish women was just like soldier. But we have not so many men, and we got the young girl, 18, 19, 20, we take it and teach them. And they got good help.
And what other kinds of jobs did they do? I know you told me they also were trained to be drivers.
Yeah,
So what would they drive?
they drive. You mean the teaching the drive?
Yeah.
In the desert.
Well, they didn't drive the tanks
Africa.
though, did they?
In the desert, all Africa, it was desert. You can go any place you want. Because Africa was an English colony, Italian colony, French colony, Hispanic colonies, and they don't care.
So what happened at Monte Cassino at the end of the battle?
May 18.
And what happened? Did you take Monte
May
Cassino?
18, just a moment, I got the book, which...
Ona nie strzegała tam. Co się stało, jak dostaliśmy Monte Cassino?
Tam jest książka, ja nie wiem,
Gadaj.
co. Tam jest napisane, kto zdobył i
Ale ona nie chce to wiedzieć.
weź książkę, tam jest.